Again to the Ultimate Soccer Footwork System Training Manual Overview. In this section, we'll be talking about soccer vision awareness. Soccer vision awareness is one of the most important topic any soccer player should study and understand effectively if he or she wants to improve. Now, a vision awareness, so to speak, it's very important as a soccer player. Here we have a diagram on this page, and I will try to illustrate some of the things within this diagram so that you can get a better understanding of what's going on. As you can see, this diagram is not set in stone. It's just a sketch of things that I want you to understand. Now, I want you to notice that this is you right here. Let's look at the first side view. This is side view, right? We're right here in side view. This is you with the ball. As you can see, there's an imaginary line going through you right here. Now, this is what the defender is seeing, right? As you can see me sketching these lines right here. You can see the defender sees your body as a silhouette. Your body, but he doesn't really care much about your body. He's focusing upon the ball. He wants the ball. As you can see, we have constructed, this is a terrain below. We have constructed here center lines between you. We have constructed a center line that runs directly through your opponent. So these are the things that you will be paying attention to. Shoulders and your opponent's center line and these silhouettes, right? Sometimes you can pay attention to the knee silhouette, right? So what happens is we also have our danger zone line, the DZ line, the distance that separate yourself and your opponent. Let's erase that real quick. So it's very important for you to understand what's going on, right? Now, your opponent, as he comes closer, his vision is affected, right? It's very important for you to understand that. As your opponent walks towards you, his vision triangle, so to speak, gets smaller and smaller. And then he tends to be like right here beside you, and he's unable to see the ball. Right? I'm just sketching this right here. Let's say this is where your opponent will be. He's going to be unable to see the ball unless he looks down, right? So his vision will be affected as he gets closer and closer to you. So as a player, it's very important for you to get the ball to your opponent sometimes where you can interfere with their vision. Now, that's also another lecture, which we will do as we progress. Now, in this video of this lesson of vision awareness, without going too much in depth with vision awareness, I want you to understand that, let's say this is your opponent and you can see the center line running behind, near to my left leg and my right leg, my opponent's right leg. But these dotted lines behind my opponent, let's say from here to here, they're not really behind my opponent. They're basically behind my opponent's head. You see what happens? My opponent can't see who is behind him or her, but they can hear. If they use their ears, it helps them to kind of get some idea of what's going on a little bit behind. If someone is running, this guy has a rabbit ears. If someone is running behind or coming in. But you also, as a player, have factors to pay attention. Your blind spots, right? Blind spots. Spots where you just can't see. Period. You just can't see around there unless you're a cat or something. You have this thing in your ear. So it's very important for you to understand the vision awareness. Now look what happens once your opponent, let's say this is your opponent. He has the ball and this is what you are seeing. Your vision starts to go wide, right? And you are seeing him. And once you see it from top view, you tend to be seeing, from side view, you tend to be seeing things like this, right? You tend to be seeing things like this. Because my opponent now has the ball, right? You tend to see things like this. But from a top view, I want you to see the wide width of the vision, right? Of the vision. And as we reach down to these areas, we have blind spots. Behind us, we have blind spots that we can't see. However, as we disclosed, if you use angles, you can eliminate many of your blind spots. Let's say you turn sideways right here. I'm just jogging this a little, and you turn sideways, chances are, and let's say this is your head, your blind spots is still behind you over here, right? It's still over there, but what happens is you have a wider width. Your views tend to change a little. I'm gonna have to get this one right. Your view tend to change a little. Let's get this one really right. So you're turned sideways, so to speak, right? I'm gonna scribble this one right here, and this is how you are. Let's say 30 degrees. We're not 100% of how it is, guys. Behind you will always be your blind spot, right? But if you can interchange this real quick, go back and forth, angles, changing angles, you will dice up your blind spot behind you, and you'll be able to see if there's an advanced opponent coming in from the rear, right? And you'll be able to get a better understanding of what's going on behind you. When I say it's important for you to change angles back, rotate this way, rotate this way, and still keep true to your center line, right? You still keep true to your center line, but you're not just squared, always squared. You're not always facing your opponent like this. You're not just always facing your opponent just like how it is on the silhouette right here. You're turning at an angle. This time you're like this, facing your opponent, sideways. Next time you might be like this. Let's scribble it up again, guys. Draw a bigger one, and you're facing your opponent like this. You're never ever squared all the time once you're facing your opponent with the ball. You're never so square, you're never just like this. Always like this, facing him with the soccer ball, right? You're always rotating into clockwise and keeping true to the center line. Do you understand what I mean? The center line is still here. The center line is still running through, but you're just rotating on the angles so you can get him to mess his or her vision up. And at the same time, you can trick them by moving the ball into the manner in which we have discussed in many of the other training videos. Now, in this training video for soccer vision awareness, it's very important for you to understand that the peripheral vision of your opponent's eyes, right? Your peripheral vision, for example, it ends at this point, and behind here is this blind spot, right? And let's go to the other side. Let's go to the left, and beyond this point, it is also blind spot, right? So what happens is this is what's going on. As your opponent peripheral visions end, they can't see what's behind them. How to remedy it? We suggest cutting on the angles on the center line. This is the same person. We just rotate at an angle, and then we can rotate back over at this angle. We're still on the center line, guys. I just remove this guy here so we can get a better understanding. So you tend to see also what's in this side. See, let's draw this one over there. And let's go over to this guy. We see what's here. And as you can see, we cut into our blind spot more effectively as we continue to use a concept like this. Now, I hope and trust you guys apply this whenever you're attacking your opponent with the ball. Sometimes, if you're not sure of who is behind you, we suggest rotate a little off the axis of the center line of your opponent. Remember, your opponent is still ahead of you, right? You're the one with the ball, and he's ahead of you. You rotate sideways, and then you rotate at an angle 45 or 30, like just as you see here. And let me quickly sketch this so you understand what's going on. You rotate sideways real quickly, but you're still on the center line, as you can see here, but you have the ball, right? You have the ball, and you just rotate sideways. If he's advancing, you can push this way, or you can turn and go anywhere you want to go. So the angles is very important, right? Or you can just push the ball sideways and beat him in just one move. Now, it's the same thing goes on and on, but once you start to rotate 35 or 45 degrees or 60 degrees, it helps you to cut into the blind spot behind you, so you can always be aware of who is around you. Players who are familiarized with concepts like this are James, Robinho, Ronaldinho, Kaká, Cristiano Ronaldo. These are players who always want to know, and Leon Messi want to make sure that they are always in control of the situation rather than be surprised by their opponents. Now, in this video, I hope and trust you understand more about how to use angles and rotating off the center line to get your opponents off balance, and at the same time to see more behind your blind spot. We also made mention of the distance awareness of your opponents. If they advance or they go behind, you can be able to punish them by means of advancing so the ball become into a vanishing point. With that said, hope and trust to see you in other videos of the overview. Bye for now.